Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You are listening to a brand new deep dive, but you might notice things feel a little heavier today.
Just a little bit. We are officially kicking things off under the banner of the heavy blend.
That's right. Now, for our regulars, don't worry. The format you love is the same. But we are dedicating this space to a real passion project of ours. The Heady Blend is an independent initiative born in Italy with a very clear mission.
Yeah, it's all about providing a truly in-depth, no-nonsense overview of specific rock and heavy metal records.
And we should probably be clear about the how, because it's actually really interesting.
For sure. So the content you're about to hear, we derive it from a ton of public sources, reviews, from the specialized press, articles, you name it. We gather all that data, and we use the latest AI tools to help us synthesize it.
But, and this is the most important part, the robot is not running the show here.
Not at all.
The source selection, the prompt engineering, all of the social media, the video editing, that is all done by actual humans with a real passion and, frankly, a deep history in the music sector.
Exactly. The AI is the tool, but the passion is completely human. And the goal here is, it's really specific. We're not just here to talk about the giants.
Right, the Metallicas and Iron Maidens of the world.
Yeah.
They get enough press.
Totally. The heavy blend is more about shining a light on emerging bands or those hidden gems that we feel deserve way more international visibility.
I love that. And because of this project, these bands get high-quality content in both Italian and English that they can then share across Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, all of it.
Right. So when we say we want to support the music we love, this is what we mean. We're actually trying to give them tools to grow.
It's about building a bridge. And today, we are crossing that bridge to look at a band that is, honestly, a bit of a paradox.
A total mystery. We are talking about Primaluce and their new album, Way of Perfection, which just came out in February of 2026.
And when you say mystery, you are not kidding. This is a project with production that sounds like it cost $1 million the musicianship is. It's God tier. And yet
their social footprint is tiny. It's really surprising.
It's the definition of underground, but it sounds like it should be selling out arenas. So, okay, let's peel back the layers. Who are Primaluce?
Okay, so the project is the brainchild of a guy named Stefano Primaluce. He's a multi-instrumentalist based in Paris. He does rhythm guitars, keys, programming, all of it.
And this isn't his first rodeo, right?
Not even close. This is actually their 10th release. The project goes all the way back to the 90s.
10th. Okay, wait. Then why does this feel like a debut for so many of us?
That's the key. For a long time, Primaluce wasn't really a band in the way we think of one. It was more of an experimental outlet, often instrumental, very compositional.
Music for musicians, basically. The kind of thing you study, not headbang too.
You got it. But the sources we pulled, they all emphasize that Way of Perfection is a massive pivot. If you compare it to their last album, Dark Mirrors from 2025, which was acclaimed, this new record is a whole different beast.
Because it's the first one that's fully vocal-driven.
Exactly. They've shifted from being a project to a proper, song-driven entity.
That's a huge risk for a prog band, isn't it? The fans usually want the 20-minute instrumental epics.
It is a risk, but look at the team he put together. You got Stefano, of course, then Andrea Rossi on lead guitars, Marco Adami on bass, Michele Avella on drums. This is a serious unit.
But the wild card is the vocalist, the mysterious Falco.
Right. We'll get to him, I promise. But first, we have to understand the stage he's standing on. The sound of this album, it dives right into what I call the holy grail conflict of progressive metal.
Ooh, the holy grail conflict. Okay, I like that. Break that down for me.
So in prog metal, you basically have two camps, right? On one side, you have the technical guys.
The shredders.
Yes.
About complex time signatures, math rock rhythms.
Exactly. It appeals to the brain. Then on the other side, you have the melodic camp. It's about songwriting, choruses, emotion. It appeals to the heart.
And the criticism of a lot of modern prog is that it's all brain, no heart.
Precisely. Especially with the rise of the whole gent scene, it can sometimes feel like bands are just playing calculators instead of guitars.
Oh, I've been there. I've listened to whole albums where I'm, like, super impressed by the skill, but 5 minutes later, I can't remember a single melody.
That's it. One of our sources, Bloody Good Music, put it really well. They said, just playing a pop song in 78 time doesn't make you progressive.
Right.
The real magic, the holy grail, is when you can do both. The technicality and the melody at the same time without the listener even noticing how hard it is.
And that's Primaluce's secret sauce.
That is the claim. They are blending, and I'm quoting here, fret-burning guitar playing with melodies that are basically straight out of the AOR playbook.
AOR, album-oriented rock. So we're talking like Toto, Rush.
Think Toto, think Rush, think Journey even. It's a wild combination.
It's like mixing a physics lecture with a karaoke party.
That's a perfect analogy. And the critics are throwing around some heavy names. Dream Theater is the obvious one. One reviewer said they are sometimes more Dream Theater than Dream Theater.
Whoa, okay, those fighting words in the metal community.
It's high praise, for sure.
Yeah.
But the nuance is key. It's like, imagine John Petrucci's guitar wizardry, but you pair it with, say, Neil Morse's ear for these super sticky, catchy melodies.
It's technical, but it's not aggressive about it.
Exactly. It's polite. It invites you in. Which brings us back to the voice doing the inviting, Falco.
The X factor.
This was one of the most interesting parts of the dive for me. The sources are unanimous on this. Adding vocals allowed Primalist to go from being experimental to being emotional.
And the comparisons for Falco were all over the place, but in a good way. I'm seeing Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge, Ted Leonard from Spock's Beard.
Two absolute powerhouses. Kennedy has that soul and that grit, and Leonard has that clean prog rock precision. If Falco is somewhere in between those two, that's a very sweet spot.
But here's the kicker. We don't know who he is. The album credits just say Falco.
In 2026, that is such a bold move. I mean, think about it. We are drowning in AI-generated content. You can literally prompt an AI to sing like almost anyone.
And it sounds terrifyingly close.
It does. And then here comes this band with a mystery singer who sounds so reassuringly human. He has texture, he has emotion.
That's a great point. He acts as the glue, right? When the band is off doing something crazy in a weird time signature, his voice is the anchor that keeps you from getting lost.
That's it, exactly. He grounds the song.
Okay, let's get into the tracks. I want to see how this all works in practice. The album opens with The Wind Remains.
A huge 7-minute opener. And talk about a fake out.
I loved reading about this. It starts with these big cinematic keyboards, then the guitars come in all frantic and heavy.
It's so dense that one reviewer admitted he thought, okay, here we go, another instrumental album.
And then, bam, a minute and 20 seconds in, the vocals hit.
It's a statement of intent. The band is saying, yeah, we can still outplay almost anyone, but now we have something to say.
The vibe was described as Van Halen meets Dirty Loops.
Now that is specific. Dirty Loops, for those who don't know, they do these insane jazz fusion covers of pop songs. You combine that with the Van Halen party metal groove.
You get something that's virtuosic, but also really fun. It's not stiff.
Not at all. Then you have Back into the Blue, which seems to be a big favorite among critics.
Yeah, this one really stood out.
This track is the perfect example of that holy grail balance we were talking about. It blends melancholy with what one source called solar scenarios.
I wanted to ask you about that word solar. In English, that sounds a bit clinical.
Right. In European music criticism, when they say solar, they mean radiant or uplifting. It's the opposite of, say, gothic or doomy.
Got it. So it's heavy, but it's bright, it's full of light.
Precisely. The key lyric is, I'm falling back into the blue where all the colors feel like true. It's about introspection, but finding clarity, not darkness.
Speaking of clarity, there's that moment in Countdown at Dawn that I think is just brilliant.
The stop. You're talking about the stop.
The stop.
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't heard it, the song has this, like, danceable thump to it.
Almost a pop rock beat. But when the title line, Countdown at Dawn, is sung, every single instrument just cuts out instantly.
That is such a classic pop production trick. It shows they don't take themselves too seriously. They want you to smile.
For sure. And then, just to keep us on our toes, they drop the ballad, When the Light Returns.
The obligatory power ballad, piano intro, orchestral feel.
Yeah.
This is where they lean hard into that American FM radio sound.
Yeah, sources were comparing it to bands like Daughtry or Shinedown.
And for a diehard prog nerd, is that a bad thing?
I don't think so. You need that dynamic range on an album. You need the slow moments to make the heavy moments hit even harder. And the theme is resilience, rebirth. A shredding solo just wouldn't fit.
Fair point. And they save the real prog out for the closer anyway, where the water meets the stone.
Oh yeah, this is the atmospheric heavyweight. And they play with your expectations again. There's a false ending around the 3.5-minute mark.
I hate when bands do that. You think it's over.
Yeah.
And then, nope.
It's a classic trick. You think the journey is over, but then the song just dissolves into this ambient, beautiful soundscape. It's a really powerful conclusion.
And that leads into the overall themes. You mentioned this isn't a dark record.
No, and that's so important right now. So much modern metal is, dystopian, angry, cynical. This is what the source is called a feel-good album.
Which is refreshing.
It tackles heavy subjects, solitude, discipline, but the focus is always on the uplifting aspect. One reviewer had this beautiful line. They said the album leaves you with a smile rather than musical envy.
Musical envy, when you're just jealous of how good they are.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, man, I wish I could play that fast, you're just enjoying the song. The whole album feels like a journey of discipline versus instinct and the joy of overcoming a struggle.
I really like that. But now I want to zoom out. We have this band with pristine production, top-tier talent. So why the small footprint? A source mentioned they only had like 600 followers. How is that possible?
This is the paradox of the modern music industry, isn't it? You can have the perfect product, you can have the talent, but if the algorithm doesn't bless you, you just remain a hidden gem.
So is the industry failing? Or is this actually kind of cool?
It's a bit of both, I think. For the listener who finds them, it feels like you've discovered treasure. It makes music discovery feel personal again, not just something Spotify fed you.
And it proves the European prog scene is operating at an incredibly high level.
Shoulder to shoulder with the American giants, absolutely.
Before we wrap up, I just want to take a second and thank our own community. We've been getting some incredible feedback lately on the heavy blend, from listeners, the press, even from the bands we cover.
It really means the world to the team, knowing that this is helping people find new music and helping bands get heard. That's why we do this.
It validates the whole mission. Seriously, thank you. Now, the verdict. Way of perfection. What's the final word?
Overwhelmingly positive. The critics are calling this a strong contender for prog album of the year.
Which is a huge call, considering it came out in February.
It is, but the quality justifies it. It seems to be that perfect entry point for people new to the genre because of those pop melodies.
But it's complex enough for the diehards. It satisfies both camps.
Exactly.
Okay, so in the spirit of the heavy blend, we have 3 specific questions for you. We want you to sound off in the comments.
Let's hear your take.
Question 1. That holy grail conflict. Do you prefer your progressive metal to be purely technical, all math and shred? Or do you need that AOR, that pop melodic hook to keep you interested?
The eternal debate.
Question 2. What do you think of bands like Primaluce remaining hidden gems despite this level of production? Is the industry failing them? Or is the underground where the real magic happens?
I'm really curious about that one. Is small beautiful, or is it a tragedy?
And finally, question 3, about the mystery man himself. For those who've listened, does Falco's voice remind you more of Dream Theater's James LaBrie, Alter Bridge's Miles Kennedy, or someone else entirely?
I have my own theory on that, but I want to see what you hear.
Exactly. Let us know. And one last thing from us. If you found this deep dive interesting, please share our content. For us at The Heavy Blend, the sharing of a passion between people is so much more important than the number of subscribers.
It's not about the metrics, it's about the music.
Until the next spin, keep the music loud.
And keep it heavy.
I wasn't lying, I wasn't sure.